again, I'll look it up and leave sources down below. But yeah, exactly. But I get that. I get one in real life. For those of you who aren't aware, Nusion's like a YouTuber, which was interesting.
Definitely my type of
No, well, they did make my
which looks really good.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid it because I just want to play the game. Fucking wait!
It's been delayed till next year, I think.
Yeah, 2020. He was like, stop attacking the team. I made this choice. You're going to attack someone. Fucking attack me.
Oh, it's coming out next weekend. Or maybe.
Classic SES game. I also played it. But yeah, maybe it's just because you are technically classed as playing as like a teenager. Kind of wish they just said say yes or no. Don't have this middle. Oh, maybe in the future.
Operation Tango.
Okay. Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to the Mind Over Madness podcast with myself and the wonderful Sean.
Yo,
how's it going?
oh, it's going well.
So yeah, there we are. It's a wonderful day outside in Wales. It's fucking roasting. Apologies for the fact that I look like apparently a shining angel. I am clearly the opposite. I think it's the fact that it's literally my forehead that on the actual software is shiny. I don't know why. Like, I look fine on us. It's just that.
Yeah. We'll blame the nice day.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Yeah. But it's not as hot as it was like some points last week. Huh?
Yeah. I don't know. It's just strange. That's all I can describe it. For whatever reason.
How have you been this past 2 weeks?
Yes. I keep forgetting that we do these once every 2 weeks, not once every week now.
Yeah. Time flies by though. It feels like every week.
I know. I know. By the time it rolls by, I'm like, shit, I haven't got anything. Yeah, no, I've been good. I've been okay. Keeping myself busy, finding some new things to watch and listen to, which we'll discuss later. I also have a few ideas in the works, a few things I want to try out, new shows and things, but maybe we'll talk about that at the end in the random things. Maybe that's
okay.
Come up.
Because that old subject is looking rather empty.
For whatever reason, both of us couldn't think of stuff. But yeah, no, I've had a pretty good 2 weeks. I now have a kettle and a mini fridge and everything in my room that I just make tea with. I don't even have to leave. Yeah, it's got to that point. I'm a hermit in my room. I don't
Make
leave.
your room flat.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, overall, pretty good week. 2 weeks.
Like a letterbox on the door. Put my mail through here, please.
Yes. I now live in this room. What about you? How's your week been?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Found myself going out and about a bit more. Didn't think I would be so out. But yeah.
Out and about.
That can be taken a few ways.
Didn't realise I'd be so out.
Oh my god, I'm so out. But yeah, I've been going to cinema twice, garden parties, out for meals and stuff like that.
Oh,
Woo!
Fair dues.
It's been nice to kind of catch up and see people and try and make the most of the summer of unlocking. So yeah, it's been good. Been great for the mental health. Yeah.
Fair dues. Fair enough. Pretty good.
Nothing a bit of social positive contact can't fix a lot of the time.
Yes. A lot of the world is starting to open up again.
Yes.
With exceptions, but there are things that are still occurring.
Yes.
Yes. Just lots of yes. Yes.
3 hours later, yes.
So yes.
But yeah, we have a little schedule that we follow every fortnight in the fact that we do the news, then we talk about some films and games, and we talk about some interesting things at the end, but sometimes we have a few extras, sometimes we have a few less, but that's the base.
Some music, some books.
Yeah, music, books, we did those last week.
Yeah, I've got a few music things.
Oh?
I got some music suggestions, but, yes. But whether you're... Whether you're listening to this or whether you're watching it, thank you very much. And always, again, check the description for any sources and also the Facebook page. I'm trying to be more active on it, but I can't stand social media.
Yeah.
So I struggle.
Oh my god, stop saying yeah.
Yeah, it's like our favourite word. The episode of Yeah, that is what this will be called.
Yeah.
How many times did you say yeah? Let's have a yeah counter.
Right. Shall we into the news?
Let's jump right into the news, shall we?
So I guess I will start with my little pieces. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but I think the Indian variant is now kind of dominant in the UK because they decided to let as many flights from India in as possible during a specific few-week period,
as they do,
and that to be circulating amongst the younger people who haven't been vaccinated yet. So.
Wait, no. The United Kingdom government made the same mistake they made back in the beginning. Never. They never make mistakes again.
Why they haven't
Boris
borders strictly for unless there's a very few exceptions,
It's just because Boris is a fucking idiot. He doesn't know how to run the country.
He's been so against lockdown the whole time that he's just like, oh, yeah. I want to be liked. I'm the Santa Claus.
Newsflash, Boris. No one likes you.
Opposite effect is that.
I don't get it.
So apparently, the vaccine program in England, anyway, is opening up to all under 30s from next week. Or they're starting to get off maybe 28 to 29s. So yeah, I mean, I myself was actually invited last Friday. So I've got my jab on Wednesday. Woohoo!
That's cool.
Are
you nervous about it at all? Are you nervous about your jab, or are you just excited just to get it so you can just start the process?
Yeah, I think I'm just excited to get it. Just get a bit frustrated and get it sooner when a lot of people have got it as well.
Yeah.
That's just like old news. Oh, I'm getting vaccinated. Oh, you're not special anymore.
I wanted to be special.
Yeah, happy to finally getting it and getting the Pfizer as well. I think I had to book that one, so it should be good. Get that ball rolling. By the time I've had my second one, and probably everyone will be on the third one. So.
Third? Suddenly they would have introduced a third one.
Yeah.
By the time I get my first one, it'll be 2 years since the coronavirus was a fucking thing. I still not heard anything, man.
Well, the annoying thing is they've been doing these pop-up centres everywhere, apart from my local area.
Yeah.
And anyone over 18 can go and get their jab and just queue up, but whatever.
Whatever, Trevor.
I know they're doing some in Cardiff. My sister managed to get a jab a lot sooner in Cardiff, like months ago.
Bloody hell.
But yeah, so I'm glad to finally get mine, and I'm sure you will be very soon. I was just not expecting a text. I thought I was off all the records, but I got a text. So.
I thought I was off the grid. Son of a bitch.
Exists, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, fair.
But I think they're on about giving it to over 12s as well to stop it spreading in schools. That should help a little bit more as well, because schools, as we all know and don't talk about, are the biggest spreaders of it all.
Well, one of them. I think it's kind of that argument, isn't it? With, how much can you really open without impacting, the increase in infection drastically? And the answer is you can't do that. It's naturally going to increase the more you open. So
yeah.
But yeah.
And he famously sent the schools back for one day and then did a U-turn on that.
Yeah, fuck it. He just needs to choose a path and stick to it.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, obviously now, the Indian variant, I believe, it's prominent throughout most of the UK now. It's the one that's causing the most infections and issues, and that wouldn't have happened if he hadn't just been like, yeah, sure, people from India can still come over. It's like he thinks there's no repercussion to a decision he makes. That's what's confusing to me. It's not like he goes, well, I am very aware that if I don't close it straight away, we're going to get infections. He just goes, no, leave it open, it's fine.
Yeah.
But you're missing the point here, Boris.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe that's a me thing.
Say yes.
Yes is fine. Yes is an
Yes,
acknowledgement
it's
word.
good. Not yeah. Yes. Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, speaking of the man himself, he got married.
Oh yeah. Just this is hilarious.
So they had like a little small marriage ceremony in like a small church, and
Catholic church, which is hilarious to me.
yeah, yes. So that was like well within the guidelines, and he can be like someone who's well stuck with the rules.
Yeah.
He looked like he's just like I saw that one wedding photo they released. He looked like he'd just come out of a press briefing. So,
Yeah, he dresses just the same, which I
shirt.
don't know.
That's it.
I mean, congratulations, I guess, but
Yeah.
I think it's it feels very rubbing it in the face of people that have had to cancel their
Yeah.
weddings, have had to move shit around. It feels very inappropriate, especially the secret kind of thing.
Yeah.
I know there's also been debate around the fact that he has been married. I think I'm not too sure how many times in the past, so I won't put a number to it. I have heard numbers, but I won't.
Couple of times.
Yeah, and isn't there like a rule with the Catholic Church that if you've been married a set number of times and then divorced, you're not allowed to get married in a Catholic church? I could be wrong. I've
Not
heard
sure.
rumours. Again, I'll look it up and leave sources down below, but it's I don't know. It seems very odd to me that he was just, if that is a thing, that he was just allowed to get married in a Catholic church, even though he had broken the main rule of being allowed to. It's
Yeah,
like
I
this.
think just the idea of marriage is supposed to like be absolutely definite for better and worse. You're
Yeah.
supposed to be able to like, no, that's the one, and stay together. But I mean, obviously, it doesn't always work out, but like that's the
Yeah.
idea behind it.
Yeah, I mean, I get the idea, and at the end of at the end of the day, divorce is a completely natural concept. There are
Yeah.
going to be times where you're with someone for a very very long time, and it's sad, but it doesn't work. Maybe you both
Yeah.
fall off of love. Maybe something happens, but I don't know. It just I I mean, I get it. He's living his life. But again, like I said, I can't get the idea that it's just this fucking rubbing it in people's faces. I know it was a secret wedding. It wasn't very secret, Boris, because it got out and became public news.
Yeah,
It's not a secret wedding in that case, really, is it? And just
Yeah.
taking that photo and then releasing it. Like, it doesn't feel very genuine and like, oh, I know everyone's been struggling over the last year, but look at me, I just got married.
yeah,
Fuck
Oh,
the
my
rules.
Johnny's.
Yeah, fuck your weddings, mine worked.
yeah,
It feels very rubbing it in, basically taking people's faces and rubbing it in shit.
yeah,
It doesn't feel very genuine. It doesn't feel very like he gives a fuck, really. It's just look at me, look at me, look at me, which
Yeah.
is never a good look for a prime minister, especially one that's fucked up as badly as he has. So
And she's like 20 odd years younger than him.
I don't know.
Which
I'm
is-
actually not aware of like her age and stuff.
Well, she's significantly younger than him, and yeah. But it happens. Takes all sorts.
Yes.
I'm sure some people will have things to say about that, but
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know. I mean, age gaps aren't normally like an issue to me, but maybe
I think,
maybe.
well, Cummings definitely didn't like her because I think she was like instrumental in him being sacked eventually.
Well, to be fair, he should have been anyway. But
Oh yeah,
yeah, I mean,
but that kind of moves us on to the the next point of Cummings' little expose of the government.
yes, this is still a thing that's ongoing.
So I mean, that was all very public, and he's dished the dirt on like Boris and saying he's not fit for like purpose, and especially Matt Hancock is saying that he's like responsible for killing all the people in care homes and sending them back
Yeah,
in, which is a fair decent point to be honest.
I think I wouldn't call Matt Hancock a mass murderer, but I would absolutely say that he is a mass manslaughterer.
Yeah, I won't call him mass murderer.
He fucking did. The thing is, I think this Cummings situation, right? I mean, that sounds awful, but this this situation with Dominic Cummings, I think it's opened up a massive amount of problems and issues now for the government that they weren't expecting to have to deal with. I don't like Dominic Cummings. I'll make it very fucking clear. I don't. And the fact that he's still insisting, well, it was for my eyes when I went for that drive. No, it wasn't. Fuck off.
I think he did do a kind of a bit of an apology, like I'm so sorry to the nation about like all my mistakes and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But like too little, too late by now, isn't it?
I know he admitted, he said, like, there are people in jobs that they just shouldn't be. Like, he said, I was put in a position I was not qualified for. And for him to admit that, I'll give him that. Fair enough. I know he's in shit anyway, so it doesn't really
Yeah,
matter. But at least he had the goal to be like, hey, I was given a job and I wasn't ready or prepared for it. I shouldn't have had
yeah,
that job. Same goes for Matt Hancock. Same goes for Boris. And, like, he's trying to... I don't know if I would call it cunning or if I would call it stupidity, because he is no longer, he's never going to have a career in politics again now. That's it. His
yeah,
career's gone. The fact that he's done this.
yeah.
Is that a good thing? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. That's for people to discuss and decide, I guess. But I don't know. What's kind of your take on it? Because I
Well,
haven't been keeping up with it.
a lot of the things I said, like the public already like suspected anyway. You know, the fact that they didn't want to lock down and they already knew the data before, you know, going into it. And apparently on the day that we were supposed to lock down, Carrie, Boris's now wife, is like just more bothered about like a story in the paper about a dog or something than anything else. Like
Oh,
they were
not
all
the poor
completely
dogs.
unprepared.
Yeah.
They didn't have a plan for like elderly people going back into care homes and yeah, but all the stuff that they're trained to just like defend themselves with, like everyone knew it was bollocks, but um, yeah, so he's definitely a bit of a weasel for doing it. But I think although he's untrustworthy to a lot of people, he's probably also speaking the truth on most of those things.
Yeah.
It's just it makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that's against him, though, is that he is so untrustworthy now. So a lot of his stuff, even though he might be spilling just truth, it's going to be questioned and he's going to be heavily criticised. You know, you're going to have the government basically going, hey, you're going to trust this guy who literally broke the rules,
Yeah,
even though, a year ago they were saying he was in the right and he was doing the right thing.
yeah,
It's that thing of putting doubt in someone's mind can change an entire story to your point of view. Even though the government's been crap at what they do, no one's been able to prove that they've known stuff before or they've acted with an intention of not giving a fuck. Essentially, Cummings has that opportunity, but I don't know if he'll do it. Sorry, yeah.
yeah. It's like interesting to see how this play out in public because like usually with governments like you don't even hear about this stuff, but it's interesting to see how it plays out in the end because there's going to be a massive inquiry into how it was handled and see how good and bad people come out of it. But by that time, there's going to be like a new government in charge, and no one's going to give a fuck anyway. They're not going to get any consequences.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh well, at least they'll be known.
Yeah. I mean, what are you hoping that comes from this? Are you hoping that the public get to basically know everything that happened and what went on, or are you more just inclined to hope that something gets done about the shit that happened that shouldn't have happened, essentially, like
I
consequences?
just want like there to be a bit of transparency between like what they actually knew and what they did at the time, and like make it public knowledge and learn from it as well for the future. Which apparently we learned from the past with different things, but we didn't.
No. No.
So at least if there is another virus that comes about in our lifetimes, so like we will learn from 2020, 2021. And apply that, to it, whether it's as transmissive as this one or not,
Yeah.
Just get it sorted before it can turn into a mass killing machine.
I'd like to think that would be a thing.
Yeah, but it won't be.
It's the government.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's always a chance. Let's hope. Let's hope the chance is big enough.
yeah, but at the end of the day, both parties have got to appeal to their bases, haven't they? So they'll just do whatever their side thinks is right.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Party politics, yay!
Yay.
So yes, have you got more news things to?
Well, the only news thing that I managed to scrape together was that the third wave, about the third wave in Wales, basically. So we all know this third wave is coming. I mean, technically, it's the fourth wave, I believe.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have asked, like, how bad's it going to be? And basically, the Health Minister of Wales said essentially the question is, how big will this wave be, not if it will be. So, yeah, there's a lot.
Scary.
Scary. obviously with more people being sort of more vaccinated and that kind of thing, that's essentially what the government are kind of hoping, is that vaccination will stop so many people being super ill and ending up in hospital and things like that, in intensive care. But yeah, I mean, I think that's an understandable reaction to have, and a lot of places that were hotspots basically when the virus was big, like Merthyr Tydfil and things like that in Wales, are basically being told that if their children in primary school, this is exactly in Merthyr Tydfil, have been told to stay home for another week after a visitor tested positive for the variant. So it's just a case of, especially as you said earlier as well, like people coming back into the UK after being two places that have massive virus infection rates going up and things like that.
Yeah.
I think it's not a surprise, and I think the third wave is it'll probably be the same as it was last year. We'll have summer now, it'll die down a lot, and then the moment winter kicks in, it'll skyrocket up again. It's just how many people are going to end up in
definitely
hospital.
some kind of resurgence in winter because that's just the season for respiratory infections.
Yes.
Um,
I also think that this is just something that's just something we have to live with now. It's not going anywhere. It's a virus that there is no cure. So it's inevitably just something we have to live with. It's going to become another one of those, what do they call them? Seasonal flus?
yeah.
Or seasonal virus. I mean, I know it's going to be around all the time, like all the way start to the end of the year. But it's just in certain parts of the year, it's just going to be worse than others. Just make sure you're vaccinated.
They're just going to have to adapt the flu vaccine to merge it with this kind of vaccine as well, so that all the old people can get it every year anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think a lot of people are concerned because it's constantly mutating so quickly, that it just comes across like no matter what they do, there's inevitably going to be a new version that's going to come out that none of the vaccines work on.
Yeah.
And maybe this is not going to be a popular take, but maybe just fucking let it. Maybe it's the world's way of being like, hey, there are too many people on this planet. I need to cull some of you. Know, I'm not a massive save the world activist or anything, but it's a virus. Unless you can cure the common cold, good luck, motherfucker.
It's killing us like we're killing the planet.
I mean, I know that's a pretty shitty way to look at it, but I mean, there's no other that you can't cure this. This is not a curable thing. Like it's like we talked about before. Jonathan Van Tam, talking about like we can't live like this forever. It's just not something
you've programmed to do.
Yeah, we can't just keep living like this forever. So instead, maybe the masks will become a permanent thing. Maybe you'll have to wear gloves more often.
Yeah,
I'd rather
that in Wales it's going to be masks at least till the end of the year.
Oh yeah, easy.
Yeah,
but then I'm not so bothered about that. I'm happy to put a mask on my mouth, my nose and face if I have to.
Yeah, I quite like it. It means I don't have to shave every day.
it also means people don't see my face, and quite frankly, I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I think the people that are still complaining about masks and stuff just need to understand that this is not something that's just going to go away. And unfortunately, that mask is your only sense that you're going to get freedom.
It's like you're not even wearing it for yourself. You're wearing it to like have that, at least have the perception that you're protecting others.
Yeah, and it's not
even
like
if it isn't that much.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like you have to wear it 24/7 the moment you leave your house and the moment you go back in. It's more just if you're indoors or if you go into a supermarket or something like that, just wear it in there. You're fine.
I never really agreed with like maybe not the face shields, but definitely not the mouth shields that people have. Like, what the hell is that going to do? Where it's like open at the top and the bottom, so that if they sneeze, the particles are still going to go out.
Yeah,
it's like, I never really understood those, but I think that's like March 2020 discussion. That one.
Also, people that wear their masks and it goes like below here, like it starts.
Still don't do it right.
Are they just were they born damaged or something? Like, are they born broken? Like, just put it over your fucking nose. It's not hard. Yeah.
Yeah, masks can definitely live with that.
Yeah, I think this
social distancing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've lived my life socially distanced.
Yeah. But I think as well, I'll leave this off on this with the third. Everyone talking about this next wave that's going to come in. It's going to be a seasonal wave thing. Get used to it. It's going to come every winter. There's going to be another huge bloody surge. It's just what is going to happen from now on. And unfortunately, the only way that we're going to combat it, at least somewhat effectively, is wear a mask, keep away from like 2 meter distance or whatever, just for that.
Keep Granny indoors.
Yeah, keep Granny indoors, even though she probably can't get out.
in the room.
But if you want to go outside, that's fine, because outside it's less likely that you're going to catch it anyway. But if you're inside, just if it's with family, I mean, just follow the guidelines of your country. But if it's, I don't know,
just be sensible.
That's just follow the advice given by your country. Like for me, for instance, when I go around and see my nan and stuff now, I don't wear a mask in there. I'll be honest with you, I don't, because I want to be able to spend time with my grandmother and not have a fucking mask that she cannot hear me or lip read me over. So I just keep 2 meter social distance instead. Choose one. It's not hard. Just be respectful and just think, how would you feel if you were in a position that could put you in vulnerable situation? And people just were like, nah, I'm not going to follow that.
Yeah.
Not pleasant.
Or if you were to like cause someone else's nan to catch it,
I'd be fucking fuming if someone gave it to my grandparents. I would be. What are you doing, you pleb? Like, I'd be very upset. But I also understand that people are like done with the masks and they're done with the social, like they just want to have a life. And most of your life has been given back at least at the time of recording this anyway. Yeah. Like in Wales, we can go out and meet with up to 30 people outside now.
Yeah, I think it's about the same.
So, I think Wales aren't doing the same as England though. Like I know on the June 21st. You guys are opening everything back up. I know Wales. I think
it's going to be delayed again.
Oh yeah, they were like, oh, but we're keeping the option there. We've heard that before, Boris. That means you're going to extend it. Scientists have told them to. Scientists have said extend it for a month. It's not. But then again, this is where I disagree with scientists. See, and I will say this: always listen to scientific advice. They know better than me, or any civilian. But scientists are saying that if they open it up now. There'll be an uncontrollable surge. Here's my thing. When is the best time to open it up then?
Yeah, never.
Never. Stop trying to get I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to be like, right, if we do it here, this is the perfect time. Because if they wait another month, you're in the heart of summer. It's going to be the hottest. It's going to be the best time to open
the
up
virus
beaches.
Will be like, help me.
Yeah, it'd be like, I can't fucking spread. I know that's
I'm going to hibernate till winter.
I'm a prune! As it just shrivels up and dies. But so I get what they're going for, but
Indiana Jones style.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But I get that. I get that's what they're going for, but it seems a bit redundant at this point. Like, just fucking... You're going to have to open it up anyway. Just let it happen. Many people are vaccinated. Just let it happen, okay? You can't hold it off forever. And do you know what? Otherwise, they're going to hold it off for so long. Next year's going to roll around. They'll be like, right, okay, time for the vaccine again, guys. Yeah. You had it last year for no fucking reason because the world didn't even open up. So it's like...
And now it's going to be £30 a pop.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to start charging at this point because they're like, well, the hell, NHS doesn't work anymore, so do you want to buy it? So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see anyway. That was a joke. Like, someone takes it literal. Really?
Come on. Nobody will watch this and take anything literally.
No. I
quite
you
obviously
shouldn't. You fucking shouldn't. Look it up first as well, As we said before. What was it the last podcast? I might be making these figures up, but always double check.
A few of these things may have been made up.
Yeah, some of this might have just been the ramblings of two crazy friends. Some of them might have been true.
It's our interpretation of the.
It's our interpretation of life. Oh, fucking hell. Yeah.
Is anything true? Philosophy, no?
Is anything real? Or are we all in a simulation? I say simulation.
On that bombshell, I think we should move on to simulation media. Films, yes. Films and TV.
Simulation media?
Segue. It's not working.
No, fair.
I'm just speaking to your crack then.
Sorry, I'm just making myself a cup of tea. But yes, what film? Because I've actually got a lot for films and stuff actually this week.
Yeah.
So do you want to start us off while I make my tea?
Yes.
I can still hear you, and I'll try and shout.
You bastard.
I'm not over here. I'm still here. I'm still here. Look. Hey, all.
So yeah, I'll start with the big ones. I watched. I've been to the cinema twice recently.
Twice. Jesus.
Yeah.
You made of money.
Well, apparently. Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. I watched the other week.
I got to see that as well.
Good. I quite enjoyed it. I thought it wasn't. It's like it going in a new direction for the Conjuring films. It wasn't quite as scary as the first two, but maybe that's just me being like immune to like horror film jump scares.
No, I would agree.
But yeah, and the fact the story is based off. I think the guy, Arnie.
Well, this is a case that I was actually very familiar with, because I'm very much into this stuff, as we learned from the earlier podcasts. So. But the Devil Made Me Do It case was actually, the line "the devil made me do it" was quoted by an interviewer of Lorraine and Ed Warren, who basically was arguing the case of that, well, if someone can plead demonic possession in court, they can just plead "the devil made me do it" and they're off scot-free. Now, the film is obviously over-exaggerated because it's a film, but there were things in it that were very accurate to the case, and I actually found it to be an interesting take. Like having Ed have the heart attack and be vulnerable.
Some kind of influence in the like law kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. There were certain scenes in there which were like, wow, interesting. Yeah, this is scary stuff. This one. But I think that there is some ways that the film did obviously differ from the case of the whole like witches, hex, curse kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think probably the first half of the film was probably a bit more interesting than the second half when it came to that, because that's when they introduced us all different element. Although there was John Noble in there. Sorry, I've got chicken shit on my hand.
Yeah. Oh.
I did that bit.
Oh, that was so good.
just a squid.
I know. Do you know what? I was fucking beating myself up about this for ages. When we watched the film and he went, "I've got chicken shit on my hand," I was like,
Yeah.
that sounds like a sentence I've heard before. When did I hear that, and what have I seen him in?
You've got like funny cameos like that in quite a few films.
I've got chicken shit on my hand. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, definitely an interesting departure from the normal Conjuring.
Yeah.
But I think a good departure. I think it's interesting that they're bringing in other cases that weren't so much based around the actual investigations they did, but instead kind of the story and the history that comes with it.
And Ed and Lorraine Warren, the actors, they play them are super good as well.
Oh,
they
they're
do carry
fantastic,
carry the films quite a lot.
They are just fucking brilliant. No one else can play those characters anymore.
No. Not even the real people can play them.
Well, unfortunately, Ed and Lorraine are dead now, unfortunately. But, yes. What was... The Devils. What was it? I think the guy who plays Ed Warren, I was going to say Ed Lorraine, Ed Warren, is the guy who was in Insidious as well, wasn't he? He was in the first Insidious film, so... but yeah, what was your favourite thing about the film?
Just like seeing a lot more of Ed and Lorraine and them working with the police, and the little bit of banter they have between like themselves and the police. Like, I can see things that you can't.
Oh, I love that scene. It's a very good scene.
The endings of the films are always really good, and when they kind of like cast out the curses and the devils and the demons and whatever, they figure it out at the end. Yeah. And I think just the moment to moment little scary setup scenes like in the morgue and stuff like that. Sorry, spoilers, but
Well, nothing's really been spoiled. There was a morgue scene.
Yeah, there's a morgue scene. I think it's in the trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my favourite. What about you?
Do you know what? I would say the fact that they divert your attention, because obviously it's not James Wan directing this one either.
Yeah, that's probably contributes towards the change in tone of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like James Wan is just a master of any kind of genre film. Like he is just a master director. You put him in front of a like put him behind a camera, you're gonna get a masterpiece regardless. That's bias. Uh, but yeah, no, I really like the fact that they didn't, instead of focusing solely on the horror, they tried to instead try to in a way humanize it and make it more believable. I think a lot of people, when they hear stuff like demonic possession and paranormal activity, they kind of go to those kind of extremes and lengths. But this film kind of, I guess, put a broader stroke on it. Like it sort of dissected and tried to show kind of witchcraft. Obviously witchcraft is not something I believe in. I don't think it's very real at all. I do think you can do spells and stuff. I just think they do jack shit. I don't think they do anything. But who's to, each to their own. But I think having it's kind of diverted your attention as well. It had like this double subplot in it, and I think that really brought out the humanizing part of it, because Ed and Lorraine are always seen as these paranormal investigators, the crazies, they have Annabelle, they have the nun, things like that.
They've got so many things in that basement. I think.
I really want to go and visit that fucking basement, but unfortunately, COVID. But yeah, I like the fact they made them more human. Like they brought them more down to earth in this one. Like they had to explore the house and underneath it, and they were like trying to do things by the law. Essentially, they were trying to gather evidence. They weren't just trying to throw crap out here. They were trying to gather evidence, which is something they had never done before. And I think that brought out a much more human side, and I think it worked really well. And it was a nice change of pace instead of just jump scare, divert attention. What would you criticize the film on, do you think? Is there anything you would have maybe said, maybe leave that out, change that, do that differently?
I don't know. I think because it obviously was in a little bit of a different direction than the others. So I don't know. Maybe it lost a bit of its tension and scares. Like maybe it needed to ramp those up a little bit, because you could pretty much see with a 6-foot pole whenever anything scary was going to happen.
Yeah. It's just horror now.
Yeah. And I think there was lacking a bit of tension, like building up to things, because it was kind of a bit all over the place sometimes. Because it wasn't just confined to a house, where you can delve into really like set the atmosphere. It's kind of all like the setting was in many places.
Yeah.
That's my criticism, I'd say.
Yeah. I mean, it was, they had to kind of fabricate a lot of stuff that Ed and Lorraine did, because Ed and Lorraine, although they had a big part in the actual case that happened, they weren't obviously going under houses and doing that kind of thing.
They've got to make it, the film isn't. Yeah,
they have to make it interesting, which I understand. There's
the real story is boring as fuck.
I mean, there was an artistic license to it, I guess. But no, I'd say my biggest criticism was the ending. Or not the ending as such, but the kind of finale leading up to it. I won't spoil anything just in case, but definitely that kind of maybe not annoyed me, but disappointed me a bit, because I felt like the film had a very strong presence in a lot more reality than it was fiction, let's say. Yeah. And then that ending kind of pulled me out of that, and I was kind of like, oh, okay.
It was kind of really drawn out with the like. Ed and Lorraine won't say much, but
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's like, okay, come on,
Like the I won't spoil anything, but what I'll say to you, you'll understand, is Sledgehammer Underground. That entire sequence to me, not only drawn out, but just unrealistic, and just it completely pulled me out of the film, and I was like, oh well, that's disappointing. I would have much rather had a more realistic, grounded, maybe somewhat fabricated aspect to it, but that just felt very off. Like, oh, you conveniently ended up here, to do this thing. So yeah, that was probably my biggest gripe with it. Not the actual ending of the film, but the lead up to it. Otherwise, good film. Great film. Loved it. Very good experience in the cinema. What was that like, actually? Because I don't know. You've been to the cinema during the pandemic, haven't you? Or was that...
I went, I think... I can't remember, but not like wearing masks and stuff all the time, I think. So... But yeah, the cinema for the first time since it's reopened, like recently. It was good. Like, Obviously, there's like not there weren't that many trailers and stuff being played, but
Oh, really?
you still got that little experience.
I had quite a few of mine. I was actually quite surprised.
I quite well. The ones we did get, I saw again today when I watched Quiet Place Part Two. But I just saw like the other. I saw a trailer for Conjuring. This time.
It's like that's already in the cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
saw that one last week.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
But yeah, it's good. Good to be back.
Yeah, it was definitely a surreal, isn't it? Sitting down because you've got like certain amount. I don't know. Was it the same in your place where they have certain amount of spaces between?
Yeah.
So like when you pre-book,
it's busier than I thought the first time I went.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of annoying people in there as well, which has kind of put me off.
Yeah.
A little bit, but you got to take the bad with the good, don't you?
Yeah. Definitely.
There's a guy like sat in front of me who kept farting all the way through it, and like he was about my age, and he was like giggling like a kid about it.
I'll be honest. I wouldn't fart in a public place, but I would absolutely giggle about it.
Yeah.
I giggle on my own when I fart all the time. I'm like, oh, that was funny.
But would you keep doing it during a horror film?
That just seems. Maybe he was pooping. Maybe that's it.
Here we go again. Jump scare.
Oh no. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I'm all for a funny fart, but not by
repeatedly.
Yeah.
Oh dear. That's unfortunate.
But today was a better experience. It's less busy.
Fair.
I went to watch A Quiet Place Part 2.
I really want to go see that.
It's really good, actually. It's more like an action film I'd describe than an actual horror film, because the whole concept of it, you can't really be shocked by anything.
Yeah.
Because if there's a loud noise, there's going to be something bad that happens.
Yeah.
And it's very much similar to the first film. Maybe if I was to criticize, maybe a bit too similar to the first film, because I don't know what progress was really achieved in it, but there's a lot of interesting things added in there. The actors were really good. Cillian Murphy was in there. All the cast is really good. It's well acted. Obviously a high budget, and the CGI is good. The action was pretty good as well. And I enjoyed it. I'm like, it's good. You've got to be in the mood for this kind of film, I suppose. Yeah. But I enjoyed it.
My question for you is, what's the biggest difference between A Quiet Place 1 and A Quiet Place 2? Because I've seen the trailer, so I'll happily go into details from the trailer. Obviously, they're not trying to hide the monsters as much anymore.
No.
They're just kind of out in the open now, since we've seen them since the first film anyway. Do you think is that utilized in a betterment to better the film, or do you think they kind of let themselves down with that, maybe not doing enough?
I feel like you definitely get a hell of a lot more monster action in this one.
Yeah.
It's obviously got that sequel syndrome where everything has to be a bit bigger, everything has to span wider.
Yeah.
They're not just confined to their little house anymore. They are, out and about trying to find sanctuary. But yeah, a lot of the things rely on people who've seen the first film will know about the hearing aids and the frequency thing that the monsters don't like. They don't really expand on that much, and they just it's just kind of accepted that that's the main way to stop these things.
Yeah.
Just okay, that's it. But yeah.
Fair.
So there's also a really cool scene where you see day one of the outbreak.
Okay.
Like a little flashback. So you see the father figure again as well.
Okay.
That's cool. Seeing how it happened in real time,
I was wondering how they were gonna get him back, how he was gonna get himself back in, should I say? Because he technically wrote, direct, and starred in it, didn't he?
Yeah.
John Krasinski. Am I right in saying that? Yeah. He was very talented man.
It's cool when they kind of throw a little thing in there to before the original film happened. This is what happened. Expanding their lore and the story and stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Which is really cool. I really enjoyed that scene. It's right at the start, I think.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of good stuff about it, and there's I don't know if this was a thing where up in your cinemas and stuff, but there's a showing of they'll show you can watch The Quiet Place 1 and 2, and then you have a Q&A with John Krasinski after it. I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's a pre-recorded Q&A or if it's
probably will be. I saw that option when I was choosing tickets. I was like, what is that?
That seems a bit strange. But because I want to go and see the first one and the second one at the same time, because I don't know, I haven't watched the first one in a while, so I thought it might be cool. So, oh,
I thought you were going to say I haven't watched the first one. I was like, fucking just spoiled the whole thing.
yeah.
But yeah, I recommend it. I really do. It's
Okay, cool.
great. Out of all the films that are out in cinema right now, and of which there isn't that many, that's one of the better ones, I would say.
No, okay,
Uh,
cool. Definitely check
I'd
that
say
out.
it appeals to more people than Conjuring. It just depends how much you're a fan of The Conjuring. So I enjoy both of them.
Yeah, I would definitely say if you want to go and watch The Conjuring, this one, and you're not into horror, this one's probably the easiest one for you to go and see. In regards to the third Conjuring film. As for A Quiet Place, I can't. First one's great, but I can't comment on the second one.
Yeah, I think well, if you enjoyed the first one, you 100%, 110% going to enjoy the second one. Just bigger in all aspects.
Bigger and better.
Bigger.
Bigger, throbbinger.
So I'm aware I talked about it. Would you like to do a few of those, a few films you've watched or whatever?
Sure. I'll start off with a documentary. So, I watched a documentary called Onision in Real Life. For those of you who aren't aware, Onision's like a YouTuber. He's pathetic. I can't remember if I mentioned this or not.
You may have mentioned something about it last week.
But yeah, that's on Discovery Plus. The last episode of that came out. That was interesting to say the least. I don't know. For me, the series kind of deviates from the actual point that they're trying to make, though. I think, and I can understand why a lot of people who were, on the sides of the survivors of Onision were slightly upset about the series and kind of annoyed because it kind of does feel like they're over dramatizing it. That it does feel like they're kind of doing it just to profit off money. There's no actual consequence coming to Onision. But instead, they're just trying to make money off of the situation. So I think that is a bit of a grimy thing that they're doing. But yeah, if you're not aware of the situation, there's plenty of YouTube videos and stuff you can go and watch. I'm not going to go through it all here because it would honestly take forever. But absolutely, go and look it up if you've not heard of him and the shit he has done. What else do we have here? Oh, I watched a film called The Burbs. Stars Tom Hanks. It's like how to describe it? A neighbor moves in, and they're very suspicious of it, and it's a comedy, but it's like a dark comedy. It's very funny.
Burbs is in suburbs.
Yes, exactly. When I first heard about it, I thought it was going to be like a piss take on the birds. That's just the first thing I thought.
So some kind of child's
yeah.
winkies.
Yeah. Oh gosh, no. But yeah, no, it was a very, very funny film. I actually massively enjoyed it. Tom Hanks is fabulous in it. It is an older film because he is very young in it. And you also have Carrie Fisher. She's in there. She's absolutely amazing in the film. She plays Tom Hanks' wife, which is an interesting dynamic. I'll say that much. But yeah, I highly recommend it.
You're my only hope, Tom Hanks.
Yeah, that's all I could think of it. I was like, are they going to reference it? I won't tell you. You have to go and watch the film. But it is very, very good. Very good film. Very good, funny, enjoyable film. And I'll say one more, and then we'll talk about some of your stuff. So I actually watched the Wrong Turn remake, which was interesting. Now, as a fan of the originals, at least the first three Wrong Turns, the last three were garbage. The first three were pretty good. So this remake is an interesting. I don't know. Have you seen this remake or?
I've seen clips of it. I've seen someone cover it on YouTube as like kill count things, but I haven't actually watched it.
I watched those videos. They're very good. Yeah, no, it's you know what? It's an interesting take that they've gone for, and the ending to it doesn't really leave much open for a sequel. I mean, there is sequel potential, but it does seem like they could leave it there. Like, so I think I know why they've done it as an ambiguous ending, though, because just in case it didn't work and people didn't like it.
As a film, did they start off kind of a bit goofy, like the original ones, like a little bit dark comedy style of it?
Yeah.
But have they gone really serious on this one, or is it still?
It's much more. I'll tell you what. If you've ever seen the original Wrong Turns, and they've been out for many years, so I don't care about talking about spoilers. You can. They are. The idea is that they are incested family that lives on a hill, and they're very deformed and grotesque. This one is much more set in reality and grounded. It's much more. It's more like basically about founding fathers that have claimed the area, and they just separate themselves from the actual town in the area. So they just live in the hills, and it's much scarier because it's much more realistic. It's still got the gore. It's still gruesome in places, but I feel like they kind of went for more the psychological route with this, which was an interesting take.
Yeah.
Especially if you've ever seen the originals. It's not so much psychological; it's more just
No.
blood and gore. But this one didn't take that route. They've clearly gone for more of kind of a structure to it, and then a different
Yeah.
take. And I think it works. You know, as a fan of the originals, I can say this wasn't like a disrespectful remake. It was genuinely something that works, and it's respectful, and it's much better than the last Wrong
Sequels and the
Turns.
sequels, yeah.
Yeah, the last three, 4, 5, and 6 of Wrong Turn were fucking dreadful.
Yeah.
Especially that sixth one was just like, oh, just don't even.
Didn't have
Why?
like Roxanne Pallet in it or something.
Yeah, and
No,
like
no.
it's disgusting.
That's
like,
how low it went.
it's fucking putrid. Like the last Wrong Turn 6 is awful. It is just never watch it. Spare yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I would highly recommend the remake Wrong Turn. It works. It just
It
just
just
works.
works.
It just works. 16 times the detail. It just works. But yeah, have you got anything that you want
I've
to
just
talk
got
about?
one more thing. A series I've been
Got a few.
watching on Disney Plus. Only just watching yesterday. I binged some of them yesterday. It's Marvel's MODOK.
Ooh.
It's surprisingly adult and funny. Like it's definitely my type of humor. It won't be for everyone, but it's quite witty. It's kind of stop motiony animated series about MODOK and his family, and um, it's very humorous. It's kind of a comedy series. I would recommend it. Especially if you've played like the Avengers game, then you can just like relate to it with like there's Monica in there. There's Super Adaptoid.
Oh, okay.
They basically treat this Super Adaptoid like the Meg of the series, and just like shut up, Super Adaptoid. He's basically the family toaster.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the kind of humor they go for.
Yeah.
It works for me. But yeah, there's 3 episodes out so far. I think there's going to be some more in the coming weeks. But speaking of Marvel series, quickly, I'm definitely looking forward to Loki. That series coming out.
oh, I can't fucking wait.
Yeah,
I
it's
saw the
Wednesday.
trailer and I was like, yes,
Yeah,
give me. Very, very excited about
it's
that.
going to be an agonizing wait for all of them to be out. So I might just have to like watch it on Wednesday.
I'm waiting for it all to come out because I know I'm going to want to just binge it. Binge it. I mean,
Something else for us to watch.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm very lucky in the sense that Vic pays for Disney Plus for us.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm sponging up for Friends at the moment.
I mean, I pay for Netflix, Prime, Discovery Plus, and Now TV. So I mean,
Yeah, fair.
one thing. One thing, isn't it? Although I don't think she has all of them because she has her own Prime and stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's very nice
It's
of her
like
to share it.
you take them for granted, and then all of a sudden you don't have them anymore because you know people lose touch and whatever. But yeah,
I'm very, very lucky. Very lucky. But any more?
yeah. Any more for you? I've finished my film.
Yeah, I've got a few. Not too many. I watched The Croods for the first time, or the second time I think that I watched The Croods.
Oh yeah.
Animated with Nicolas Cage, Ryan Reynolds, and Emma Stone. Very funny.
I've never actually watched it in its entirety.
It's
I've listened to the soundtrack.
It's actually extremely good. I was quite surprised actually because I didn't think I was going to like it. I was adamant that I wasn't going to like it because there's a lot of animation I tend to watch. Even when I love the actors, it just doesn't land with me anymore. I don't know if that's just because I've got older. It just doesn't click with my humor and that kind of thing. But I fucking love The Croods. I can't wait for the second one to come out. I found out as well that The Croods 2 got cancelled. Like way back in like 2016 or 2017.
Sure.
And then they've announced
it.
it.
Released straight to DVD or something.
Yeah, they've got a series of The Croods. They have 2 series of it, which are on Prime, and then they were working on series 2. It got cancelled in 2016 or 2017, and then it's being released this year.
The Croods: A New Age.
Yes, that's the one. and The Croods: A New Age. That's been released this year. They only released last month. Released the trailer,
Oh,
which is nuts.
it says it was released in 2020.
Yeah, see, now that's what I saw that as well, and I was like, where the fuck's this film? So,
Like American only.
but I don't know what happened or something. But I think it got pushed back with the pandemic, same as like
Oh,
James Bond and Fast and Furious. So, I think they pushed it back. So I'm looking forward to that. But can you believe the first Croods was in 2013? I think.
I think it was the same
2011.
year as the Jesus or something. I don't know.
Yeah, which is
but yeah,
long time. I could murder a podcast. Now, this is a podcast that I've been listening to on YouTube, and it's very funny, very good. The two guys that do it are hilarious, but they talk about different like murder cases and things like that, and it's the only thing they talk about. It takes about an hour an episode. It's absolutely exceptional. If you're into like murder mystery and you're into like documentary-esque style, absolutely, their podcast is fucking brilliant. And they touch on kind of more obscure stuff as well. They don't just go with the super popular, well-known stuff. They're super obscure stuff as well, which is awesome. I'm morbid, so I like stuff like this.
yeah.
But yeah, I betrayed our podcast show and I went to another one.
I know. You're allowed to listen to one that you don't partake in. So.
You're allowed to. Just don't ever go on there.
You're not allowed to go on them.
Yeah, and then the last film that I watched was Willy's Wonderland with Nicolas Cage.
Oh, I wanted to watch that one.
Which,
How you watch?
you know,
watch it?
just
Send it to me.
fucking ridiculous film.
Stream it to me.
It's so ridiculous. It's such a silly film, but it's so good.
Would we like it though?
Oh, it's so good. Nicolas Cage doesn't even speak in the film. He's just Nicolas Cage. That's it. If Nicolas Cage is in a film, I will love it.
I don't care about the critic reviews.
Yeah,
just
no.
care about Nicolas Cage.
He's just fucking excellent. No matter what he's in, he's just Nicolas Cage, and it just works. I don't know why. He's not even. I'll be honest. He's not even that good of an actor. The only film that I really think he acted superbly in was Face Off, The Rock, and National Treasure. He was good in that. Con Air, but like most of his performances are ridiculous.
Ghost Rider.
Yeah, that was absolutely fucking abhorrent for people apparently on set because he'd like dress up in like Indian makeup and stuff and fucking scream in people's faces. Like, I just love him. He's such a good guy.
Yeah.
I mean, he avoided his taxes for years. Never do that, but you know, he's paying for it. He's paying for it.
He's paying for it.
But yeah, no, it's such a good film. The acting is shit. Like all the other actors in the film are garbage. They are crap.
Yeah.
But you know, there's kids like teenagers in it, and oh my god, there are just there's bad acting, and then there's just they're not even trying at this point. They're just saying the line. But yeah, just Nicolas Cage fighting Five Nights at Freddy's animatrons. What more do you want?
Yeah.
It's good. It's good for a laugh. Don't take it seriously. It's fun.
Yeah. Looking forward to watching that one.
It is a good one. There are some scenes where you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, this was going to happen because it's a horror film. But there are just the fact he doesn't speak makes it funnier.
What film did we watch where it's Nicolas Cage and he like kills the kids or something? Like, I'm pretty sure we watched it together the first time I came up there.
Oh,
He killed like it's the kids that are the like main source of evil. They have to like kill them or something.
oh, Mum and Dad. When he,
Yeah.
that's when all the parents turn on their children. Yeah.
Oh, right, is it then?
He's just going through He's just going through everything and just goes anal beads. It's just why?
Like a chainsaw or something.
Oh yeah, motherfuckers! As he knocking on the. Oh, I love that film.
I have to have a Nicolas Cage binge at some point.
Oh mate, I'm trying to collect all this film so I can just like watch them start to finish. Like, over a couple of days.
Lord of the Rings, but Nicolas Cage.
I'll sit down and watch Nicolas Cage films over Lord of the Rings. Sorry, I know that annoys some people, but it's just I would.
Shit fun.
Oh, he's so good. Yeah, two more, both anime things. I'll get these over quickly. I watched...
I don't hate them.
I know, but just for those niche fans, I watched a show called Yamashibai. It's I think I've talked about it briefly before on the podcast, like very early on when we did it. It's like an animathology. Anthology. There we go.
Okay.
Where did I get the M from? Anthology series, but they're like 5-minute episodes. They're super quick. They're only in sub, and they're based around horror. And I don't know, anime does horror so much better than the Western side now. And well, I should say, Japanese, Chinese, and Korean do horror so much better, because they just have a way of doing it. And with anime, you're limitless, so it just works much nicer. And I'm watching through Attack on Titan again, because I love that series. Me and Shaggy are binging all of them because the 4th series has finally come out. Yes. So, yeah. That's me then. That's films. Wow, this one is going on for a while.
It'll soon speed up, I'm sure.
Yeah. I've got some music stuff very quickly.
Yeah.
Only 2 things. Ironically.
Music section.
Ironically, Attack on Titan soundtrack. I just, for whatever reason, I decided to listen to it recently, and it just, mate, it bangs.
Yeah.
It's very, very good. And what else would I listen to? I think it was. Well, I'll get it up on my phone now. Have you got any music from this week?
I'm just trying to have a look through what I've listened to.
Well, that's right. I went back and listened to Busted, their first album. My childhood.
The 5 colours in her hair, is that Busted?
Oh, that's McFly. That's McFly. Yeah. You fake fan. Fake fan.
They're not the same.
No. Well, they did make McBusted, so that, yeah.
Yeah.
They did go together at one point. But no. Yeah. Yeah. Listen to their first ones, like what I go to school for, 3 a.m., that kind of stuff.
That's what I go to school for.
If it's a real more, you can call me crazy.
I'm listening to the soundtrack of Transformers: Age of Extinction. That's pretty good.
Ooh, I haven't
Chill.
listened to that in a while.
Chill vibe. All the Transformers soundtracks are good, but this one particularly strikes an end.
And then the films are just explosion.
Oh yeah, yeah. I enjoy, it's one of the, I would say rare, but I'm kind of more into the soundtracks of films than the films these days.
Yeah, no, I agree. You did that.
So yeah.
I never used
Definitely
to be.
listen more than watch.
I used to be into the films more than the soundtracks. Then I met Sean.
Or sometimes I go and watch a film because of the soundtrack.
Literally. I'm not here. Are you looking forward to the film? Nah, mate. The soundtrack.
Yeah.
Yeah. No fair.
Yeah. So that's the music section.
Yes, very quick, very simple, very
Quick,
easy.
speedy.
Speedy with.
Just like a lot of things.
Ha! Like me in the bedroom. Right. Let us continue.
Pray.
Let us continue.
So games.
So we're on to our games now. The gaming side of life.
So there's some gameplay that has been released for Horizon Forbidden West, which looks really good.
Yeah, I'm trying to avoid it because I just want to play the game when it comes out.
Yeah.
So, but tell me, what have you experienced?
Yeah, it just looks like Horizon, but a hell of a lot more detailed and better, and underwater physics.
Ooh,
and yeah, just a lot of nice details in there, and the character models look a hell of a lot better. Like, it looks more next gen, although there is a bit of, not controversy, but annoyance about the fact that it's going to be on PS4s as well.
I do find this ironic, and I don't know how you feel about this, but people complaining about games being on both sets, right? Didn't they know this was going to happen?
I don't know.
I mean, do you think they've been working on Horizons? Like, the second Horizon game started before the PS5 was made.
Yeah. It's it's with all the delays and things, like it's had to be. It's going to seem like there's we're catering for old gen, but no, they're still making developments, and there's still going to be a next gen version of it.
Yeah, that's the point. They're separate versions. That's why you can buy both versions.
Yeah.
The PS5.
Sorry, go on.
No, go on. This was your point.
I can see why some of the comments are there. Like, it's going to be held back. And at first I was like, well, no, it's not, because there's going to be a PS5 version. But I mean, with the amount of enemies that are going to be on the screen and stuff, like, it's only going to be able to cater for the last gen amount of assets and things, because it can't be 2 different games, can it?
Yeah. There are certain things, that would.
And
have
you won't be able to, like, maybe you won't be able to fly. We don't know this for sure, but if you could if the like technology is there to be able to fly around the map without all the textures and assets loading, that would be cool. But it's going to be held back by last gen because you won't be able to do that in last gen. But yeah,
I think there's certain. The thing is, what I'm hoping. This is kind of what I'm hoping for future games now when they come out, is that the PS5 version will have slightly certain things that are slightly different. Nothing game changing, so like they won't be flying in one and not in the other, but slightly more people on screen in one compared to the other. That kind of thing. I think that's why they're delaying stuff and they're having two versions, but one version is going to have like more on screen and more happening.
Yeah, it's going to be 60 frames the PS5 version at least, and it's going to have. They've apparently done the water texture differently or something. Is they've built that from the ground up like differently for PS5.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
Ray tracing.
Yeah, and that Natal Bane.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a super fun one. Super dense jungles, lots of biomes, and yeah, lots of new animals
Very excited.
to ride and conquer. Conquer.
Yeah, I think I might just before like when it gets an. What has they actually announced the release date for it? Or they still? Isn't it like end
I
of
don't
this
think
year?
they have actually. I don't think they.
No.
I think it's coming this year, but
They've just said coming soon. I know that's all it says on the marketplace is coming soon. Still, I'm like, come on, please.
yeah.
I would like to know.
Yeah. Dying Light 2 as well. We had a bit of gameplay from that.
I can't fucking wait!
Email.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Have you seen the gameplay for it?
I have seen
yeah.
everything. I have been
So
waiting for so long.
Just like how interesting they've set it all up, and the fact that like the floor one is now the base kind of level for things with all the vegetation and stuff, and the ground is like the zombie infected. You're not allowed to call them zombies, it's like the infected.
Yeah, I'm so ready. Like I played through Dying Light 1 so quick. Like I cannot wait. I've been waiting too long. Too long.
But yeah, it's going to be a great game. I'm pretty sure. Like,
yeah, I'm positive. If they fuck this up, they've done that. They can't.
Yeah.
They can't. This is so perfect. Like everything for it is so ready, and the fact they've kept on top of Dying Light 1 as well while people are waiting.
Yeah. So that's coming out this year as well. I think December was it or November?
Yes, December. I think 7th. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Interesting. They've gone after the kind of main window of games being released in that September, October. But just in time for Christmas. What else is coming out? Far Cry 6.
Oh yeah, I'm excited for that. I guilty pleasure. I love me some Far Cry.
That's the only gameplay one I haven't actually watched yet. I've seen clips of it. I wasn't amazingly impressed by the graphics and stuff like that, but it's Far Cry, you know.
I think I'm just expecting a Ubisoft game.
They're going to be cookie cutter formula of Ubisoft games that people like them.
Yeah. Did you know that this is going to be one of the last single player experiences they do? Because everything is going to be free to play after this. Every series is getting its own free to play entry. It isn't just Division anymore. It's now Assassin's Creed. It's now Far Cry. Everything is getting a free to play.
Until they run out of series and then they'll make a new one.
Yeah, it's so stupid. They're like, well, we're going off in this free to play direction because microtransactions.
Be interesting to see how thorough they go with it, and you know.
Yeah, I am interested to see if they fuck it up, which they will. But it's just how
done before, I don't think, unless the studio's dedicated to like free to play games, but I mean, not ones that have come from backgrounds of making single player games.
I think it throws a lot of potential away for these series as well. Like, why would you want to completely cut out, you know, a series and no longer have like a mainstream part of it? Instead, apparently what they've said is that they are still going to create mainstream games, but it's just they're going to be less of them a year. So it won't be like 4 or 5 games they bring out. It'll be like 1 or 2. Because they'll have free-to-play ones.
It's just like, feels like they've got all these franchises now and they're just kind of rinsing them a bit with the free-to-play aspect.
They just want all the money.
It's like having a nice fresh new pie every year, but now you're just getting like a slice of old stale pie.
Yeah. There's like a new pie in the fridge, but you choose to eat the 2-week-old one with the fucking weird carpet coating.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm very dubious
Um,
about it.
so God of War has been. Sorry, I'm kind of just leading
No,
this
no,
one.
no, go for it. I haven't
God
actually
of
got a lot, so
God of War has been delayed till next year, I think.
yeah, 2020.
Um,
I'm
and
glad you
people are
brought this up.
again annoyed about that. It's going to be like cross-gen.
Allow me to make this clear. If you are one of those people, fuck off. You are
Yeah,
not a. No one cares about your tiny 13-year-old pee. No one gives a fuck. Go away. No one likes you. You're a piece of shit. I'm glad you brought this up because I actually forgot about it. But a woman known as Alana Pierce, she's like a very prominent figure in the gaming industry. And for years and years, she grafted really hard and she got a job with Sony and is now working on Ragnarok. And she got sent death threats and the R word threats, and loads of other people have been given these threats.
yeah,
Fucking grow up. Just because you're threatening them, they're not going to release it sooner.
I know.
Like, what the it's why gamers are considered such vile human beings. Is like fucking 10-year-olds that are like, well, I think you're a dickhead and I'm going to fuck your cat. And, it's stupid shit
Yeah,
like that. And even the guy, I believe his name is Corey, the guy that directed the first one and is making the second one, he was like, stop attacking the team. I made this choice. You're going to attack someone, fucking attack me. And it's like,
yeah.
it's so disgraceful. It's disgusting.
It is. There's like it's those kinds of people that just do give a bad name to like every
Yeah.
gamer and stuff like that. But they're in all aspects of society. But like gaming is something you can hide behind like a lot easier than other things. So they've
Yeah.
got their little niche way of internet.
It's just,
blackmailing.
I cannot, for the life of me, why do people complain when something gets delayed? It only means that the game is going to be better.
I know.
Like, I understand that there was a certain situation with Cyberpunk. I don't know if anyone's aware of that game. That game got delayed and it came out crap. But they should have delayed the game for 2 years. It would have come out brilliant and whatever. This is the thing that people miss, is that perfection is not rushed. I don't think the people working on God of War, I know they are obviously having to work crunch, but it's not like all the time. And there's a reason for that. You get a better game from a healthier mindset. I could be wrong. Maybe they're working crunch all the time. We just don't know about it. But I've not heard anything like that. And the first God of War was fucking phenomenal. So
Yeah.
why are you complaining?
Hmm.
How about this? Pull the dick out of your ass and fucking just wait.
Yeah.
Like, it's not. It's just I cannot stand it. It's despicable behaviour. And, don't get me wrong. I've been a fucking kid. I've said things as a child. I understand, but if it's a child that's saying stuff like the R word, I'm not saying it for obvious reasons. It's 4 letters. You can guess it. It's a child saying that kind of vile stuff to someone is just wrong on so many levels. If your kid is saying stuff like that, you have failed as a parent.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
If it's a kid saying it, it shouldn't really be like drawn attention to in any regard, but
I think the thing is, it's not so much like you can tell like a developer, oh, you're fucking shit. I mean, developers probably get that crap all the time. They can brush that off. But it's when it's like a venomous personal attack. That's when it stops. It goes from that realm of just being an insult to something genuinely hurtful and personal. And it's differentiating between the two, isn't it? It's like a throwaway comment and someone genuinely trying to hurt the person just because something was delayed. There's plenty of other games. Fucking wait,
Yeah.
But
the
I love
entitlement these days.
Yeah, it's like, but I love God of War. Do you? Well, there's fantastic series of games of God of War, and then there's God of War 1, which there's plenty to do. I'm sure you've not finished it more than once.
Yeah.
Go for it. Like I just personally I don't understand.
Yeah, true fans will respect the developers, pretty sure.
Yeah, I just people know what these developers go through as well. Like the horror stories that come out about game developers, and people send them horrifying messages like that. Like I think some of them were published, and they are truly vile. By the way, they are despicable.
Oh yeah,
So
I can imagine. The
Yeah,
absolute worst that you can say without, having any consequences.
yeah, because you can hide behind a fucking keyboard, and it makes me laugh. It's like you wouldn't fucking say that in person.
Yeah.
Like it's just so unnecessary as well. That's what I do. Like I understand maybe you're super hyped for a game and it gets cancelled, and it's like, well, that's disappointing. But you know what? I have loads of other games that I can
Yeah,
play.
a normal person. Oh, that's a bit disappointing.
Yeah, oh, well, I look forward to the game when it comes out. These kids, or even some of them adults, that's the more horrifying thing.
Yeah.
Adults sending these messages. Well, fuck you, I hope your house burns down and your mum gets cancer. It's like, that's disgusting.
Yeah. Some
Why?
people are just like that. Keyboard
Ugh.
warriors. It says more about them than
Absolutely,
anything
it
else.
does. But I don't know. I won't go too much into it because it's. I will get very angry and look like a tomato.
You'll turn into one that like against those.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, E3 is next weekend.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I forgot about
So
that.
I've heard. I may have made that up, but
And,
yeah.
check. I mean, yeah. No. So when you're seeing this, it would have already gone probably if it is next weekend. But yeah,
Time maybe going up, then watch it.
yeah. Watch it right now. Go and check it out. What are you doing after the
Yeah,
podcast?
don't watch this.
Finish this, then go watch it. But yeah, no. Are you excited for it? Do you think, or
I'm excited, but I know Sony isn't gonna be there like releasing anything, but they kind of just do their own thing these days.
yeah,
Interesting to see what a lot of third-party developers are up to and what new games are announced and things. It's always a good time just to check out the trailers and things.
agreed.
Maybe some hidden gems in there, which looking forward to. We didn't mention Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart is coming out next week. I don't know, or maybe yeah.
I'm very excited for it.
I'm not going to get it, but I'm very
No,
excited.
yeah. I'm gonna wait for it to go on sale. I haven't got that kind of money. No.
No.
So yeah, I'm excited. Looking forward to it. It should be good. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait and see. Wait and see.
Yes, definitely. I want my first proper PS5 game to be something I'm really into.
Yeah, that's why I'm like Dying Light 2. Either Dying Light 2 or Back 4 Blood.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I'll fork out. I definitely will fork out the money for Dying Light 2. I will shell my money for that game. But
Yeah.
Back 4 Blood, I might wait, even though I know I'll like it. I just to be sure. I don't, Dying Light 2. They could fuck me over with this game, but I don't care. I'm buying the game. It's a game I cannot wait for. so
For some reason I just got the image of like the Last of Us 2 sex scene. Put Neil Druckmann in Last of Us like in place of it.
Oh, that really would. That's just the game. You buy the game, and that's just all that comes up on the screen. You got fucked.
By Neil Druckmann.
Neil Druckmann's face, and then just your face on Muscles McGee.
Oh god. So yeah, that is it for some of the gaming things I've got. I'm not sure if you've got any.
I've only got two. I've got a few. I've started playing through RTSs, real-time strategy games, again after a very long hiatus. I struggle to play them mainly because of my anxiety. Weirdly enough, I get super anxious when I have to like be quick and act quick.
Okay.
But I've been enjoying Company of Heroes. Very good classic RTS game. I also played a
RTS stand for.
real-time strategy.
Okay.
That's
new for me.
So stuff like Halo Wars and things like that. That kind of
Yeah.
genre. But yeah, I've been playing through that. That's been pretty interesting. I played through a really shitty Slender ripoff. I played about 40 minutes of it and then deleted the game from history. It's called Duda. It's fucking awful. It would have been a great game to stream because it was that bad.
Quick.
Yeah, very quick and bad. And the next game that I actually played through, I know I talked about the first one, Emily is Away. I played through the second Emily is Away, Emily is Away 2. And it was good. It's the same premise as the first game. And, kind of the old-fashioned 2006, 2007 MSN page and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
However, there is a major flaw with the game, and it was quite an insulting flaw because of the ending. The game's been out for a while. I am going to go into spoilers. So, essentially, in the beginning, you kind of have a choice. You're talking to two of these characters, and you can say, do you want a family or not want a family? To one of them, I said that I wanted a family. The other one, I said, well, I'm not too sure, but who knows? We'll see what the future holds. I didn't say yes or no. It was kind of just in the middle ground. In the end of the game, though, that came back to bite me in the ass for whatever reason, and I was getting accused of being a liar. Getting accused of saying that I had said something that they'd seen the messages. And literally, the cool thing about the game is you can like download the messages from the past and stuff and like look through them. The game is fundamentally flawed on this sector because you get called if you do make the choice that I made. For instance, you didn't say yes or no to one person. It doesn't matter. It acts like you said the opposite, and it basically just screws you over. And it was quite upsetting because I was like super really enjoy it. The game is fantastic, but they may as well have not put that middle ground answer and just put a yes or a no. Like,
yeah,
it was like it felt like playing an old like one of the last Telltale games. Like choices felt meaningless.
Yeah.
And it just threw everything off. Like I played through the entire game in one sitting, like 4 hours sitting there playing it, loving every second, and then this ending part happened, and I was like,
yeah.
Hey, and then when I looked it up, a lot of people were saying the same thing as well, being like, maybe it's just because you are technically classed as playing as like a teenager in it, and yeah, it just felt a bit spoiled. Like, I kind of wish they'd just said say yes or no, don't have this middle. Oh, maybe in the future, I don't know. We'll see what happens. So, good game, but spoiled by that decision. So if you do play it, choose a yes or a no. That would be my only thing.
If you're going to put choices in the game, then make sure you do them well.
Make sure they have a purpose. Like, maybe if that character had come to me and been like, well, you said you weren't sure there, but then you said yes to me. Do you mind elaborating? And then kind of have that branch off. Don't just throw it in there and then be like,
also, don't put like huge decisions right at the start. Maybe like because you probably might change your mind like throughout the game.
Well, this is the thing. Like, talking to one of the characters, essentially, it's you either end up with this character or this character, and there was a clear difference between the characters. So, I felt a bit screwed over in that, so I was a little salty after finishing the game. It's a good game. It's made by one guy as well, like he does it all. But, it just felt a bit off-putting. Like, it was slightly annoying that I had made this choice, and yet it felt like I had had my choice taken away, and it was just, no, you've got to deal with the consequences of this one, like you made it.
Yeah, so, too bad.
Yeah. It was kind of like a Telltale ending, basically. I got blue-balled. So, yeah, good game. I do recommend it to people. Just be aware of that in the beginning. Unfortunately. But yes, is that it for everything? Are we on to our...
Well, I guess we'll just mention the PS Plus games.
Yes.
Which came out this month.
Yes.
There is Star Wars Squadrons, which is a good game.
Which I was like, yes, I will download that because I didn't finish it before.
Operation Tango, which is a PS5 game, which requires 2 players. It takes 2, so we're definitely going to have to play that.
Yes, I definitely want to jump on that.
And Virtua Fighter, one of those.
The 5th one, which I didn't download. I just added it to my library. Because I'm not interested in that.
I've ordered myself a new little extended hard drive, so I should be able to get more games on. So yeah,
it's cool. It's mad how much space you need for games now, isn't it? They just fill up so much room.
Yeah, the 500 gigabytes one extended one ain't cutting it these days.
Yeah, it's just
filled up. When you want a bit of just fancy playing something one day, but maybe you don't fancy playing it every day. You still want to have it on there.
Yeah, and now you can store like PS5 games on there as well.
Not
enough space. But yeah.
Yeah, that can conclude our gaming section.
That's the gaming section. So now we are on to the final section of the day. The random tings!
Random interesting things.
Random tings. Random tings. Random interesting. So, yes.
Titillating.
I am titillated. So... Okay, I'll start. So I've got my first thing is actually off of that what I was talking about earlier when we were talking about God of War Ragnarok. So online, obviously, there's free speech, right? Of course, I am all for free speech, but do we think that people are getting away with a little bit too much? Like we were talking about some of the comments earlier. Regardless if they're a child or an adult, are we letting people online get away with too much by not getting them in trouble? Freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequence. That's my thing about it. There's freedom of speech. You're allowed to be a dick, but you'll get treated like a dick. And then they're saying something that's genuinely disgusting and spiteful, and you should be reprimanded for it. Whether that's losing your online, I don't know, losing your Facebook profile, being, I don't know, suspended for a certain amount of time, I don't know.
Going on some kind of like register for people who troll people
Yeah,
or something.
a troll register. I mean, you know,
troll offenders register.
it would make it harder. But then, I don't know, because trolling is one of those things, isn't it? It's like, oh, well, I'm just doing it for fun and taking the piss. And there are videos of compilations that I have watched online of trolling that are quite amusing and quite funny at times. But they are overall...
Trolling, and then there's like...
Yeah, there's trolling, and then there's just taking things too far and
Yeah.
genuinely upsetting and hurting people. So with people like that, do we think that there should be a consequence for it? Do we think there should be... as difficult as it would be to do, do we think they? Yeah,
there should be, and there's like kind of laws going through, like modern ones about trolling and like online laws and safety and things. Like people can't, well, they can still say what they want, but you know, they can't say it's horribly hurtful things on like Twitter and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like, what are the police going to do about it? Are they gonna go to a scene of a murder, or are they going to go Twitter hunting?
exactly.
It's a bit
I do
like,
agree.
you know, where does the like time and resources go? And obviously something does need to be done about it, and like maybe it's up to the companies to sort out this. Like,
I would say that. I think, do you agree with me that Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, so on and so forth, do not do enough to sort of deal with these accounts? Because I'm not suggesting, because again, freedom of speech is very important. We should all have the right to say what I want, what I want, what you want, what we all want. You know, but that shouldn't mean there's no consequence for saying something genuinely disgusting. Yeah. Again, the R word. You do not. There is just no instance where you threaten someone with that, or you say that you wish that upon them. It's disgusting. Do we think that these... Because this is my thing of it. I don't think there's going to be ever a legal thing for it. It would be impossible, and I absolutely agree that is ridiculous. But I understand that just deleting an account does not mean that they can't just make another one.
No.
But here's my thing. There has to be a way that you can just make it more difficult. Delete that account forever. Never let it come back. The email that's attached to it, ban it. Blacklist it. I don't know. Or is that too far, do you think? Do you think that is in itself affecting free speech, because you're technically banning someone from a platform where now they can't even have the option to say what they feel?
Yeah, it's going to be all kinds of like solutions going to have to be come up with for this, because like I was thinking like, well, maybe they have to ask for more information to be able to like sign you up to these sites or something.
Yeah.
But then it's like, you know, they got all your information, they're going to be passed on to the government.
I think, I don't know if they're, because the thing is, they obviously have procedures in place now. Like, for instance, you know, they can ban an account, they can suspend an account, you know, you can report accounts and stuff. I do think the reporting thing doesn't work, because mass reporting can happen and it can be fake.
Yeah, that can be trolling in itself.
Exactly. So, I don't know. It's a
so
very
difficult,
it's a complicated thing to do. I mean, you could say, I guess, there's the argument that I have seen flown around, which is, oh well, you know, when people sign up to something, you know, with an email or something, they their IP address goes up with it, and what should happen is if that account gets banned or suspended, that IP address should be banned or suspended. I don't even know if that's possible, especially with VPNs and stuff now, where you can just switch.
It'll just turn into like the ones who are going to do this are going to just find smarter ways of doing it.
Yeah, exactly. So do you actually? My question would be: is this then? Do you think there's even a way to somewhat police how it goes on, or do you think it is an unfortunate byproduct of just anonymity and being able to hide, you know, behind a keyboard essentially?
Yeah. It's just unfortunately probably there isn't a way to solve it, but there's probably like little ways to ease it a little bit, but I don't think it's ever going to go away, because that's the future, isn't it? That's just, as you say, a byproduct of like just the modern generation and hiding behind things. But
I think
is it better to do it behind a keyboard or in person? I don't know.
I mean, that's another debate, isn't it? It's sort of like, would you rather the people do this online or in person? Well, comments work either way. You know, if you hear them in real life or in person, they're just going to have just as much an effect. Even more so because it's easier to do it online.
Or it has to become like a thing of life where you get taught to like ignore all these things, but it's like really hard, isn't it?
It's impossible for the human brain to ignore it, and I
Uh,
get that.
Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will
Yeah,
never hurt me. It's
it's
not.
not a true saying, is
No,
it?
it's not a true thing.
Especially like one thing I was talking to my mum
Maybe in
about.
the older days.
Yeah, exactly. One thing I talked to my mum about is when I was growing up in school and stuff. The thing my mum was trying to get across to me was, well, I was bullied in school. I was like, yeah, so was I. It was different for you than for me, though. And she was like, well, how? And I said, well, I come home. When you came home, it stopped. You were in your own house. You were excluded from, like, the arseholes from school. When I came home, I still had Facebook. I still had, like, Twitter or whatever. You know, people could still spam horrible shit at me, even when I was at home. I was never safe. Now, you could use the argument of, well, kids shouldn't be on social media then. Let's be honest, that's never going to happen. Kids are naturally going to be on social media. You could put an age restriction on it, but then people will just lie about their age.
Well, the way that the social media is designed is to get its hooks in everyone, good and bad.
Exactly. They don't.
So they need it. They need social media to gain friends as well as get bullied by people.
Yeah, absolutely. One thing that I have seen thrown around is doing a similar system to China. That's never a good thing to say because China is
One child policy.
it's a dictatorship, whether people like that or not. But it is, isn't it? It's like they have like a social ladder thing system. So when you go onto like they have their own network, like their own social media. So when you go onto that, you immediately have to put everything, all your personal information, how old you are, everything has to be on there. So if you get banned, you're gone for good. You can't get back on.
Be on your record, like.
Yeah, no, it literally goes on a record. So I've seen systems be thrown out, like ideas of systems like that being implemented in like the US and the UK. It's not going to happen, but I mean, it's an idea, but it's
like their way of solving it. So
yeah.
Maybe it does solve it, but then again, does it create another problem?
Does it create a problem of that? Then the government has too much power over just the average everyday person.
I mean, I don't want Boris to control my Facebook.
Yeah. I just had cheese and tomato. Oh, that's on someone else's profile. I mean, it's a tricky subject because I do think there should be a consequence. What that consequence should be, I don't know. I'm not hired to do that. I can absolutely say that, I think there's not a single person that's on social media that has not experienced some form of online abuse or a horrible message or something. But it's differentiating what's a horrible message and then what is just something that is genuinely borderline criminal to say to someone. So,
yeah, there just needs to be just some way of identifying like what you say online as you saying it.
Yeah. There needs to be a way of being able to punish accounts immediately, and I know that we don't even have the technology to possess that kind of thing yet. I don't think, at least from my knowledge. I don't.
And then
think
it can be dangerous when it does exist because it might be used in the wrong way.
Yeah, well, if someone if like it got hacked and then someone could just shut down all the accounts at once.
The entire Facebook network.
This is the thing. It's like there has to be technology that has to be designed, developed, and specifically made to deal with this issue because it's a new issue. Let's face it. Social media became a big thing. This is a negative thing that came with it. There needs to be a new solution created to deal with the new issue that was created
by the companies that created the issues.
Exactly, absolutely. I think there are certain laws. I think there are certain things being pushed in governments to try and get these companies to do something about this because I don't think it's fair and I don't think it's right. I do think people should have the right to call you a knobhead or a prick or as far as a cunt if they don't like you. But there is a difference between calling you a name and insulting you. In like sort of like a swearing kind of trying to get under your skin kind of way, and then there's again it's that two-sided thing, isn't it? There's a very big difference between certain words, certain things that are said in a sentence, and designed to be very attacking, not just you're a knobhead kind of thing.
People have their opinions, but not when it goes to like threatening and direct, insults to the families and whatever.
Yeah. There has to be a line that is drawn, and I think that is something that is being willfully ignored by social media giants because they don't want to deal with the problem. They know they've created it, but it's money and time to deal with an issue like that that they just don't want to deal with. But I'm absolutely an advocate that something should be done. What, I don't know. That's for them to work out.
That was a good topic.
It was. But I did have... I guess it's not a full topic. It's like a subtopic to that. But is social media changing children and how they view the world, do you think?
Yeah, I think that's just a big caveat of what we were just talking about, isn't it?
Yeah.
The fact that bullying will come home with them no matter what, and they need it as much as it harms them
Yeah.
with their social lives. Yeah.
Do you think that it? I mean, I think we've touched on this briefly before because I think we've both put our opinions out on how it affected us in life. But do you think that social media is sort of try? It's essentially like kids are trying to create like push themselves out there so much. Like when I was a kid, for instance, Facebook and stuff had only just come out really.
Yeah, same with me. It's kind of just new.
MySpace and
like,
stuff was like
it
before.
wasn't all ruling. Like you
Yeah.
didn't have to have it.
Yeah, I think my when I was in, I think when I first started comprehensive school, so when I was in year 7, I think that's when Facebook really sort of blew up, and it overtook like MySpace and things like that, and became like the main social media, so to speak. You had stuff like Ask FM and things like that at the time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I guess the way to describe it was, I think even though it was just a very short few years that I was in school, it still changed how I was as a kid massively. I mean, again, can only talk from my own experiences, but it made me concerned about how many friends I had on Facebook, and oh, did I look okay in that photo, or am I not tensing enough? Do I need to have bigger arms? I don't know. Maybe it's a lot. I can only imagine it's 1,000 times worse now because I don't have social media anymore, so I to me it's always been a very toxic and negative place. Although it has good sides to it. We talked about this in the past, but it has its good points, but there are a lot of negatives that tend to get ignored over favor, and I think that's something that needs to be addressed.
Definitely. I mean, I was very lucky that I wasn't in. I think it was like partway through my high school year life that social media took off. But I was so lucky that I just kind of had a group of friends, and it just kind of you had your separate home life and your school life.
Yeah.
Still, which was really, really good. So it didn't really affect me too much. I wasn't bothered about pictures and stuff like that because nothing got uploaded.
Yeah.
But yeah, these days it's this whole thing of online presence. You have to have an online presence as well as a real presence.
Yeah, which
there's a lot of pressure.
I don't know. There's a lot
of
things.
Influencers where influencing is a career.
Yeah.
And kids want to do it, then they're gonna be doing it from a young age, and peer pressure, that kind of thing mixed with that is just oof. Yeah. Can you imagine the divisions?
I don't know, man. I personally, and this is only my personal opinion, and I know it's not a very popular opinion, but I don't think kids should be allowed on social media. I don't. I think there should be an absolute cut-off period.
Or it should be like a fully stripped down version.
Yeah, like have another version for kids. Like YouTube has YouTube Kids, and there's YouTube. I mean, it doesn't work, but
make it illegal.
But I don't know. I think it's like you said, isn't it? It's like they want as many people, regardless of age, on their websites. So they're not going to put an age restriction on it. I think what company? I think Snapchat put an age restriction on theirs for a little bit. I don't know if it's still there, but I'm fairly certain it was them. If not them, Instagram. I can't remember. But yeah, I think some social media sites should just no. I know YouTube has its you have to be 16 or over to make an account, which is ironic because I made my account when I was 10. So you can get past it real easy.
Then that's like putting responsibility on parents, and they don't want to be dealing with that really. And like,
well, they've got enough shit to worry about. I do agree that some responsibility falls on parents, but not all of it. It's not possible. Parents have enough shit to worry about, let alone fucking, dealing with their kid going on a website and saying hurtful things. But I do think stuff like, I again never use Twitter, but stuff like Twitter, stuff like Instagram, stuff like Facebook should have a minimum age, I reckon, of like 14, 15 minimum.
Yeah.
Anything lower than that, no, you shouldn't have it. You shouldn't have a fucking phone until you're fucking 16, in my opinion. But there we are. Fucking smartphones are everywhere these days.
Yeah, you're always connected.
Yeah, I do agree that kids should have phones so they can be called and texted by their parents, make sure they're okay, have conversations with friends, but just not smartphones.
Yeah, I was horrified the other day because like my phone comes up with like, this is probably a thing that's been happening for ages, but like whenever I go somewhere, like I was going around town and like a few days later I get a thing, did you enjoy your trip to Starbucks and stuff like that? I'm like,
Oh yeah.
no, why are you tracking me? No.
The fuck, like. Go
Like turn
away.
that Google location history thing off now.
Yeah, I never have those things turned on. They
It's like you literally parked outside an Aldi. How was Aldi? Like, why the hell do I have to rate everything these days?
Yeah. It's like, excuse me, how about fuck off and it's
Horrified.
my life? It's like we don't have any privacy anymore. It's just not a thing.
Like tracking you all the time.
Yeah, no, I always, all my webcams, I always disable them or turn them off and chuck them away in a fucking drawer. I don't trust anything.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a broken world, man. Like,
Even the PS5 has a mic built into it that controls it's listening to you all the time.
fucking hate that so much. It's such a bad thing. I don't know why they did that. But yeah, it's in the world of connectivity where we are able to contact absolutely anyone. There's also no privacy and there's no rules, no regulation to it. It's a completely new world that is lawless.
Privacy doesn't sell.
Exactly that. That's the motto that Facebook should take and run with. Privacy doesn't sell.
Invading your privacy since 1995.
Yeah, or whenever the fuck. Yeah, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Maybe that's just like a weird thing for me to say, but I genuinely don't think kids should be allowed on social media, and I don't think kids should be allowed phones that aren't flip phones or shitty brick Nokias until they're 16. Because you should live your fucking childhood. Don't be on your fucking phone all the time or looking at screens. I mean, don't get me wrong, I played games all my life when I was a kid, but I didn't have a phone to stare at all the time. I had a phone that could.
Okay.
I had a phone that I could text or ring my friends on and be like, "Do you want to go out today?" That was it. I couldn't play any game. Pong was about the best I could get on my fucking phone. Pong or Snake, yeah, exactly. And to be honest, they didn't keep my attention for very long. So I would go outside and enjoy it. And I just think a lot of kids are missing that today. I know you see kids out all the time. People are like, "Oh, but it's fine. They're just outside. They're still playing." Yeah, they're also fucking on their phone, sitting on a fucking step or something. They're not being kids. They're just staring at this impossibly ending machine of technology, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not having children because they'd live in the dark ages.
That'd be like class as cruelty, then.
Oh,
You're not giving them a smartphone?
You won't even give them a smartphone? No.
How dare you? They're out the womb. Mama, smartphone.
I mean, I think they should be taught on it and taught about social media and things, because I think, just getting thrown into it is dangerous.
They're going to be like in 10 years' time. They're going to come out the womb and like...
Before they come out the womb, Apple AirPods already in, fucking iPhone.
Have a Facebook account already.
iPhone 57, the doctor's already made them a Facebook account and Instagram. They're taking photos just out of the womb.
Yeah.
For hashtag freedom. Like...
Just chilling, I hit myself.
Covered in slime still, working off that womb juice. it's fucking weird, man. I don't know. There's so many, like, we laugh and joke about that kind of thing, but I honestly, I swear to God, if you typed it in, I'm sure someone has taken a photo of their wife trying to give birth in the room or whatever, uploaded it and gone waiting for him to arrive, and it's like, you are.
It'll happen every day.
I couldn't even imagine doing something like that. Like, don't get me wrong, there are certain things I've recorded that I regret in my life, but I couldn't imagine like my missus giving birth or something. I'm there just filming it and like, I'm gonna put this on Facebook earlier. My family will love it.
Yeah,
but
you're never actually experiencing things anymore. You're just witnessing it through the screen.
It's just a fucking channel of shit that you're just absorbing. I mean, right now, like, we're recording this and it'll go on YouTube. And I get that. I know the irony in what I'm saying and everything, but I'm not a child anymore. I'm not. I've lived my childhood, and I'm now an adult that wants to do this kind of thing.
It's like, I don't know, a modern way of us like having a conversation. That's how I view it.
Well, yeah, because you live in England for a start, so I mean, technology granted me the ability to be your friend, but I don't know. There just has to be some.
There's always a little silver lining to it, but there's a lot of shit.
I think a lot of people give parents a lot of crap, but I think new parents now in this day and age have it much worse, much fucking worse, because they have to deal with not only teaching their kids right from wrong, but they have to teach them about the online world, the internet, and even some of the parents are still learning about it because they didn't grow up with it. It just appeared.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Like maybe it does fall on the parents, maybe not. It's a discussion to have, and I think it's one that needs to happen soon. Because if it doesn't, I think it's only going to get worse.
Oh yeah, it will be.
And I know people.
It's heading south.
I know people say, well, things have to get worse before they get better, but I think in the case of something like this, that's just not possible. If this gets too much worse, I think genuinely some people are going to get serious consequences. Or, how many people have to, lose their lives because of online bullying before something's done about it?
Yeah, there'll have to be some kind of scandal or big event that happens
I don't know.
before it starts being taken super seriously. It's rippling in the background all the time. So.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's only getting worse, so who knows? But I think on that very interesting conversation and note, I'm very passionate rant. I think we'll call it there. So if you have enjoyed the podcast, thank you very much for watching it or listening to it. However you enjoy our faces or our voices, it's always appreciated.
I just realised my face was over here. The hard to put your face.
Wait, if I move my face around, I can just now it's like I'm on your body. I can't keep up. But yeah, no, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, friend, as always. I always love doing these podcasts with you. So yeah, thank you to everyone.
Those brain juice is flowing.
Yeah, it does, and I think this has been one of the best ones we've done in a while, because we actually really went in depth with some of the stuff, which I enjoyed. I enjoyed that. It was good. It's a good feeling. But yes, so I hope you all enjoyed. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch it. Again, check down in the link description below for the Facebook page, and also keep an eye out for some stuff that'll be slowly cropping up on the channel as well. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching, and myself and Sean will see you in the next one.
We shall see you in the next one.
Yes.
Goodbye, friends.
Bye bye, friends.
I'm walking alone, the streets are empty. The only thing I can see is my own silhouette. I'm getting stronger, step by step. The clock is ticking, but